5-9 Gaming. We had to round the fellas up. We had to discuss this absolutely groundbreaking news. One of the biggest updates ever in Dokkan history. Got my boy Gale, got the boy Ningen, got the boy Sunblade here to discuss this ridiculous change that Dokkan is making, which highlighted on the screen. They're going to make it so we can begin using multiple versions of the same character per team. So this means, for example, you could run 3 like Rose Goku Blacks on the team, right? Which would be huge. You know, like LR Rose, just real quickly, and then I'll toss with you guys. Like LR Rose is a really good LR, but he doesn't have like a perfect linking partner, a perfect partner to give him ki to allow him to work at full power. Like if they introduce this update, and like if these units might link together or something like that, all of a sudden LR Rose to me gets 10 times better. Like the amount of like differences into the game with this small change is like huge. It's groundbreaking for so many different things, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, the main thing is, of course, they've mentioned it like, oh, we can use more than 2 characters. And of course, at the start, we weren't sure if it was just like only 2 characters or if it was like more than 2 characters. And then if it was the same, you could use the TUR and the SSR. But then, of course, with the help of Garesh's tweets and him clarifying it as well, it's clear that we can use like a team of 6 future Gohans if they all add different titles, basically, right? So, like you said, it opens up to a lot of different things. And this basically, in my opinion, has also increased Dokkan's lifespan by another at least 5 years, if not more, because they can now literally just do more, like, for example, they can do more legendary Super Saiyan Brolys, and you can use the old STR one, you can use the LR one, you can use the physical one, you can use the new one if they make one, and they can all be fit on the same team. So they can literally rehash more characters if they want to, which is insane to me.
One of the big things it means as well is really old units that get easy A's. There's been a few recently where they'll get an easy A and they'll become pretty good, maybe like B, lower A tier, but then there's like a Dokkan Fest exclusive that's just that much better, so you never use them. Whereas now, those kind of units can find a place on the team. And obviously the big thing, like, it's funny this coming with the end of the anniversary, because like we were saying before, the big discussion all in the community over the last few weeks was, well, which UI Goku should I run now? The STR one or the Int one? And yeah, that's not going to be an issue anymore.
Yeah, I think this is a big deal, and Gale said it correctly. The lifespan was increased by that decision. And let's just assume that the Extreme Z Awakening for Int UI Goku came out before the LR-STR card itself. Of course, it didn't happen that way. But now, I don't have to ask myself, do I really have to summon on the banner? Because I have a card that rivals him already. And now I'm like, okay, I can run both on the same team. Of course, I'm going in. I want the strongest cards in my team. And I will spend the money now. So I think it was a smart decision by Akatsuki to do that. But on the downside, I fear that a lot of teams will look similar, like 6 Vegetos or something every time. Of course, this could be an overstatement, but I guess you know what I mean.
It is interesting, right? Because like, so one thing that I've been expecting to happen is that like physical Final Form Cooler will get his EZA and he'll be borderline like the best TUR in the game. And then I was thinking that like a week later or something like that, they drop LR Final Form Cooler, right? And he's like just a hard replacement. Now it could be a thing where it's like they do that. Physical Cooler, he's like, oh my god, he's so good. But like, what if one of the ways they sort of like add to his EZA is they make him like a bit of a support type unit. But then they still drop like LR Final Form Cooler right after. And then at that point, it's like, oh my god, I've got this amazing EZA. Now I want to run him with the LR too, right? Like Garesh, like that's the team he's going to want to run. Like there's a lot of people that want to do that. So now we're just having these situations where I feel like, people are probably going to end up spending more because of this, right? For their favorite characters to run the whole team of them.
Gets around some of the issues of like when they introduced transformations and exchange and stuff like that, that was kind of like a way we could get around having that issue. And it meant that when we sort of thought about like LRs are a really good example, is when we thought about like LRs that would come out in the future, even as like a community on the whole, it's kind of been part of the discussion now where, say for example, like a new Omega Shenron, the discussion has always been, oh, well, it'd have to be a Sin who transforms into Omega, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to use any of the old ones. And now all of that just goes out the window, so they can make new LRs of units that already have those same named units. And now, like Sunblade was saying, you don't have to worry about replacing a unit you've already got. You can still just be hyped for the new unit, even though they have the same name. So it's a massive, massive change.
Also,
Yeah, very important. As of right now, we don't know if those units actually link with each other,
that's
so
true.
We just have to wait and see about this.
yeah, I also feel like, I mean, at this point, you know, with how Dokkan is in its current state and whatnot, it's also a PvE game at the end of the day. And to me, like, at this point, you know, why not just do whatever makes the people happy, and this will make people happy, being able to run their favorite characters on one team. Like you mentioned, Goresh is the perfect example. He can run a team full of Friezas if he wants to, or a full team of Coolers, whatever it may be, right? So to me, it's just like, it was inevitable that they had to do this. You know, I look at other gacha games as well who have done similar steps as well. Like, for like a year, they'd have like this whole hard restriction that you can't use the same character with the same names, and then the year after it switches immediately. They're like, okay, now you can use everything you want or anything you want. Dokkan's a bit late to the party, but it's finally at the party, which is I'm super, super happy with. But like Sunblade said, it's going to be very interesting if they link together, which in my opinion isn't the worst thing if they don't link, because you can make one UI Goku, say for example, we'll take UI and STR UI as perfect examples. One UI Goku can go off rotation, whereas one UI can be like a main rotation unit or something, right? Or they can be on split rotations maybe as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're just being able to bring them both on the same team. Like, I don't think it would be the end of the world either. If we had to guess, because obviously we don't know, I would assume that they don't. But I guess it depends how in detail they go with the change. Because obviously when you have, like, say you bring a movie boss's team with Turles as your leader, and you bring the tech Broly, and then you bring a friend physical Broly, you still have them both in your team, but they don't link. Like, that's a thing that's kind of in the game already. So if they just remove the restriction so you can then put them on the team together, but they don't change that, I don't think, like you said, it's going to be the end of the world, because UI is the perfect example. You just have one on one rotation and one on the other. So it just opens up a whole lot of options, because there were some teams where you would really struggle. And yeah, it's come up on the screen now, like Namekians is the #1 example, but some teams will be helped out by this so much more than other ones. And it's going to be really good for the future for those teams.
Yeah, because now, like, again, there's still a spot for like a Majin Buu Saga Piccolo. I mean, if in the Buu Saga, not a lot of characters have more direct screen time than Piccolo. He's there for a long time, right?
Yep.
So, like, from the Buu Saga, like, you know, we have a good Saiyan Saga Piccolo, or at least after his EZA, he'll be good. But, you know, there's, like, a bunch of different situations, a bunch of moments where we could get a much better Piccolo. You know, how about Piccolo fighting second form Frieza on Namek? We've already got a free-to-play unit, but we could get, like, a summonable banner unit or something like that. Or, like, I don't know, even think, like, Planet Namek Saga is a perfect, like, example to go to. Right now, we have a Scouter Vegeta from when he first arrives on Namek and fights Qui, right? But we don't yet have a Vegeta from his fight with Frieza. Like, that armor he wears, that's not, like, a character in Dokkan. He's an Awakening Medal, but he's not a character that's usable, right? Now you could use multiple of those Vegetas. There's just, this does open up a lot of different avenues for the game.
I mean,
like, no doubt about that.
You mentioned Vegeta as well. Why not Final Form Frieza? The biggest problem with having the Namek Saga being done is there are so many Final Form Friezas that are sub-banner units that, and of course we have the old Final Form Full Power Frieza that we haven't gotten a new Frieza, and most likely it would have been just a Final Form Frieza into Full Power Frieza, right? Now we can run a potential Final Form Frieza with any of the other Final Form Friezas that exist, the AGL one, the STR one. So yeah, like you said, the Planet Namek Saga especially has been blown. Like, what we could get from it is insane, quite frankly speaking. So it's gonna be really, really cool to see how much they can do with this now.
Yeah, and I think one big, just speaking of, just to, like, I don't know, something to throw in there. So who do you think is one of the combos that stands out the most that we haven't mentioned so far? Because I know people have mentioned a lot of the really obvious ones. I've seen a lot of tweets of, like, the Piccolos, the Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. One big one for me is the fact that you can now, I can run LR Bardock on the AGL Bardock team.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's actually a good shout. I was thinking more so of the two Gohans as well. The SSJ2 Gohans, once LR in Gohan gets his EZA. That's another combo that will be quite devastating in my opinion.
Oh, do you think?
I mean,
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a tiny bit, just a teeny tiny bit.
Yeah, my top pick actually was the one from Truth earlier, the Int Rose and the AJA Rose, or in the future maybe the Extreme Z Awakening for the STR one. But if you would ask me now, I would say the Tech Vegito Blue with the physical Vegito Blue, because the Tech one will get an EZA sooner or later, and this rotation will be nuts.
Oh god.
Yeah, like I just like even if the units don't link together, right? Think of how seamless, you know, using a team of like LR Rose, AGL Rose, and STR Rose will be, since AGL and STR give the 3 key to villain units.
Yeah.
So like you could still run like, or like the physical EZA UI Goku is still a ridiculous support type unit. So like for some of them, it doesn't even matter that like maybe he wouldn't link with the other UI Goku. It's like, well, maybe you want to run him as a floater like off rotation, just supporting the team anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's still like besides even the monster summonable units, there's other reasons why we would want to run some of these characters. Like this is just going to allow to much more cohesive team building across the board.
Yeah, it shows you that they had this like in their back pocket ready to drop, because one of the big things when that free to play UI Goku got his awakening, like I think a lot of people's first reaction was, okay, well he seems pretty good, but why am I ever going to run him over the Int 1 or the LR? And it's then straight away afterwards they dropped this update. So
Yeah, I just want to say that the physical one has the first awaken, so that's 25% attack for the Int one. This rotation will be insane if you don't have the STRR, and I
don't forget that 10% defense too.
Yeah, of course, yes, at level 10, yes, sure.
No, I mean,
but yeah, that's massive.
of course that is all dependent on the whole linking situation, which, okay, we were talking about it earlier on and you said you didn't think. I think it might happen, honestly. I don't think they would not do it, because at this point, what's there to lose? There's not, you know, I mean, the thing is, if there was more of a reason, like, for example, if there was PvP or there was actual, like, player versus player thing that was going on in the game, then I'd be like, potentially they would go against it, may not do it. But at this point, you know, why not? 6 years into the game, I keep thinking we're on 5 year for some reason. 6 years into the game, you know, you may as well let the players have a bit of fun, you know? Why not? Just give them what they want, right?
Yep.
This seems to me to be a change that is much more likely to massively help Dokkan out than to hurt it. Because there's not a PvP-based environment to really piss players off.
Yeah.
This is literally just allowing people who summon to have more fun with the units they're summoning for. So I think this is only going to end up, again, helping the game in the long run and not actually hurting it.
yeah, exactly. And if you don't like it, just don't use it.
Real quick, too, you want to know one other big-time unit that this is really going to help out? Is the new Dokkan Fest Goten and Trunks. Because they are, like, all these units are based around having other Goten and Trunkses around.
Yeah.
Now you can run, like, the two that got Awakenings with Int Gotenks are really good. And then obviously the two that are about to ease are really good. So now you could just run that full team and they're going to just be so cohesive and it's going to be disgusting, right?
Yeah.
So like already we could see a huge like sort of like power addition to like this full like Goten and Trunks team that you could run now.
Yeah.
Actually, that opens up even more stuff now as well, because if you think about some of the characters that have passives or unit supers or something that require a character from a specific category, so for example, like you have to bring a movie hero's Goku, you could still then bring another Goku with the same name who's not a movie hero. So like you're forced to use one particular Goku to help out one unit, but then you can just bring another unit with the same name. Like it just opens up so many more options for team building.
Yep. I think to get a final thoughts in, when do you think this is going to come? I personally think same day, because I feel like it might be a new Broly maybe, or a Godku, one or the other.
Yeah, that's what I think.
It's going to be either, I think it's going to be an Legendary Super Saiyan Broly or a Godku. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's possibly the reason why there's such a huge maintenance on Global coming soon.
Yeah, it's very, very likely. Definitely could be the case for sure.
Okay, I think we can wrap up there with all things said and done. I think this is a good update for Dokkan. It'll probably give the game a couple of more years. at best, if not more than 5 years at least, easily. They can reuse a lot of characters and stuff like that. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Truth, Gale, Ningen, and Sunblade. We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Give us your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. Peace out, everybody.